Good evening, good evening, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Pro Wrestling Talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming. I'm your host for this evening, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram, coming at you here live from the U to the 2. So, tonight, I want to talk the current New Japan Pro Wrestling G1 Climax 31 current standings. We also got a couple of new members joining the factions Cosmic Angels and Stardom, as well as United Empire, New Japan Pro Wrestling. So I wanted to mention those as well. We also got the WWE Draft that kicked off earlier on SmackDown. So we'll go over the picks for those. And of course, the usual recap of this week, just stories and stuff like that. But yeah, it's been quite a interesting week, kind of long, but pretty interesting week. But let's go ahead and get started. Let's start off with some Stardom. So they did recently upload the recent pay-per-view, the 5-Star Grand Prix finals on Stardom World, and I was able to catch the dark matches that were on there. Like they had the triple threat with Momo Watanabe, Hanan, and Rina, which Hanan ended up winning. And Mai Sakurai got her first victory in Stardom. She went up against the other rookie, Waka Tsukiyama. So they were both going into that match without a win. And Mai Sakurai was able to get the victory. So she got her first victory in Stardom. So congrats to her. So she also joins Lady C as they both recently got their first victories in Stardom. Both of them over Waka Tsukiyama. Kind of ironic there. But speaking of Waka Tsukiyama, she has joined Cosmic Angels. Yeah, it was the recent press conference, and she joined Cosmic Angels. So now Cosmic Angels has 5 members now. That's right, 5 members. You got Tam Nakano, the leader. You got Unagi Sayaka. You got Mina Shirakawa. You got Mai Sakurai. And now you have Waka Tsukiyama. So, wow, just in about under a month, they now have 5 members. So, slowly but surely, building up that faction even more. And we'll have to wait and see going forward how these two ladies fare under the Cosmic Angels umbrella. And I know there's a lot of people still kind of speculating, hey, where should Lady C go? Honestly, I think Lady C should probably stay unaffiliated for a little while longer. I don't really know the best faction where she would fit, to be honest with you. So I feel like I'm okay with keeping her unaffiliated for now. I'm okay with that. So we'll see what happens. But Cosmic Angels increasing their ranks, so that's cool. That's cool. Probably could use some more of that for Stars. I know Stars is still kind of light. I mean, it's mainly Hanan, Mayu Iwatani, and Koguma. And, Saya Ida, she's still out with injury, so still no idea when she's going to return. So they're looking kind of thin with Stars. Right now, I think they're pretty much the faction that's the thinnest right now out of all the current factions. But, yeah, we'll have to see what happens between now and the end of the year. But speaking of Stars, it has been announced that Jungle Kiona will be leaving Stardom, and actually left as of yesterday, September 30th. But yeah, she was still nursing an injury and I guess was on her way to making a comeback, but she has announced that she will be leaving Stardom. And as a matter of fact, got a translated version of her announcement in writing. So I'll go ahead and quote it out here just so you can get an idea of what she said. But these were Jungle Kiona's words translated to English. It says, "Dear all," and I quote, "It's been a long time since I've been here. I'm Jungle Kiona. I'm sorry for the sudden announcement of my departure. As announced by the official announcement, I will be leaving Stardom after 6 years with the company. I'm sorry to betray the feelings of everyone who has been waiting for me to return to Stardom, Mayu, my rivals, and my friends. I'm really sorry for betraying everyone's feelings. I'm really sorry. But I am moving forward and I want to have more experiences and grow as a person and as a wrestler. I want to grow as a person and as a wrestler. I've always wanted to come back to Stardom, but this decision is a firm one. I will definitely make my return to pro wrestling somewhere on the planet. The ring is connected, so I'm sure I'll be able to fight with the guys from Stardom again somewhere. And finally, the most important thing I want to say, that is my love for Stardom. The fighters, the staff, and Mr. Ogawa. That's Rossi Ogawa. I think I was a relatively good player, but I also caused a lot of trouble. That day when they warmly welcomed me back from Africa. When I was a newcomer, I was colored by a lot by the games and the work. I have happy memories, I have frustrating memories, I have happy memories, I have painful memories. I've always I've always had Stardom by my side. I had Jansa Bumpo. I don't even know if that what that means. Who supported me. Thank you very, very much for all of the invaluable memories of my years in Stardom. I will never forget them. I will love you all forever and ever. I'm so happy that my last match in Stardom was with Mayu-san in Nagoya, my hometown. I hope to see you again someday, somewhere. I would be very happy if you could support me on my way to the new stage of Jungle Kiona. And that became official as of yesterday, September 30th, 2021. But yeah, so when I first heard about this, I was kind of wondering, well, what the heck is she retiring? I mean, I know she had been recovering from a serious injury, but I was kind of thinking, dang, is she going to retire? But at least this is confirmation that she's not retiring, that she wants to continue her pro wrestling career in general. So honestly, it does make me kind of wonder where she will go from here. You know, I part of me was thinking it'd be nice to see her go after Deonna Purrazzo's Knockouts Championship in Impact Wrestling. I was thinking either there or AEW. That is, if she wants to, leave Japan and come to the US. Those are really the only two destinations that I could see her going to, is AEW or Impact Wrestling. But I don't really see her coming to WWE. I just don't see that. I really don't see that happening. But yeah, it'll be very interesting to see where Jungle Kiona decides to continue her pro wrestling career. But I wish her the best. She's a great wrestler. And it was kind of sad that she never won the Wonder of Stardom title, nor did she ever win the World of Stardom title. So kind of a bummer. She was a former Artist of Stardom champion and a Goddess of Stardom champion, but never could win the red belt or the white belt. So kind of a bummer, but still a great wrestler. Great wrestler. And I wish her the best and hope she can land somewhere where she can succeed and that she'll be happy. That's really what's important. But best of luck to Jungle Kiona. And that's pretty much all that I have for Stardom right now. Let's take a look at New Japan Pro Wrestling. Let's look at the current standings of the G1 Climax number 31. So, let's start off with the A block. Of course, we know Tetsuya Naito right now is at 0, and he withdrew from competition due to injury. Like I said, the only match that he had was against Zack Sabre Jr., which he lost. So he sits at the bottom at 0 points, but he's out of this tournament due to injury. You got Tangaloa with 2 points currently. Tangaloa, pretty much the only win he has is from the Tetsuya Naito forfeit. So he is 1-3. So he has that and has losses to the Great Okarn, Tomohiro Ishii, and Toru Yano. Tomohiro Ishii and Yujiro Takahashi are both tied at 4 points. So Tomohiro Ishii, he is 2-3 right now. He has the forfeit win over Naito, the win over Tangaloa, but he's lost to Kota Ibushi, Kenta, and Shingo Takagi. So been kind of tough for him. Yujiro Takahashi, he is 2-2. He's 2-2 right now. So he has the forfeit win over Naito. He's defeated Kota Ibushi, which is a shocker. But he's lost to Kenta and the Great Okarn. But wow, Yujiro beat Kota Ibushi. That's crazy. We have a 4-way tie. Toru Yano, Kenta, Kota Ibushi, and Shingo Takagi. All 4 of these men have 6 points. So Shingo Takagi, he is 3-1 currently. He has the forfeit victory over Naito, 2 victories over Tomohiro Ishii and Kenta, and he's lost to Zack Sabre Jr. So 3-1. Kota Ibushi, let's see. He is 3-2. He's 3-2 right now. So he's got the forfeit victory over Naito, victories against Toru Yano and Tomohiro Ishii, but has lost to Hiroshi Tanahashi and Zack Sabre Jr. Kenta right now is 3-2. He's got the forfeit victory over Naito. He's got a victory over Hiroshi Tanahashi and Tomohiro Ishii, but he has lost to Shingo Takagi and Toru Yano. And then we got Toru Yano. Let's see. Looking at him, Toru Yano is 3-2. He's got the forfeit victory over Naito. He's got victories over Tangaloa and Kenta, but he's lost to Kota Ibushi and the Great Okarn. And then sitting at the top right now, tied at the top with 8 points, is both the Great Okarn and Zack Sabre Jr. The Great Okarn right now is 4-1. He's got the forfeit victory over Naito, and he's got wins over Toru Yano, not Hiroshi Tanahashi, Yujiro Takahashi. My apologies. I meant to say Yujiro Takahashi. Yujiro Takahashi and Tangaloa, but he's lost to Zack Sabre Jr. So his 1 loss is against Zack Sabre Jr. And then Zack Sabre Jr. right now is undefeated. He is 4-0. Zack Sabre Jr. is on a tear right now. He's got victories over Naito, Shingo Takagi, Kota Ibushi, and the Great Okarn. So Zack Sabre Jr. is looking like a strong favorite in the A block right now. He hasn't lost yet. You know, the Great Okarn was on a win streak as well, but then he lost to Zack Sabre Jr. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting, but Zack Sabre Jr. is looking like a favorite to make it out of the A block right now. But the Great Okarn still isn't far behind. So we'll see what happens. Still got a lot of tournament left. All right, B block. Let's look at the B block. So both Chase Owens and Hiroki Goto are both at the bottom with 0 points, which I think is bullcrap. Chase Owens is 0-4. He has lost to Jeff Cobb, Evil, Sonata, and Tamatonga. Hiroki Goto is 0-3, which makes no freaking sense to me. Actually, no. Technically, he's 0-4 because he's lost to Jeff Cobb, Taichi, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and just recently lost to Okada. Why Hiroki Goto is 0-4 right now makes no sense to me. Makes no sense. There is no freaking way he should be 0-4 right now. I do not get the booking on that. I don't get the booking on that. Hiroki Goto, really? 0-4 right now? Really? Really? Makes no sense to me. Tama Tonga and Yoshihashi tied at 2 points. Tama Tonga is 1-3. Got a victory over Chase Owens, but losses to Jeff Cobb, Sonata, and Hiroshi Tanahashi. Yoshihashi. See, that's crazy. Yoshihashi has a victory, but not Hiroki Goto. That's crazy. Yoshihashi is 1-3. He's got the victory over Taichi, which that's a big upset. And losses to Evil, Jeff Cobb, and Kazuchika Okada. Let's see. You have Taichi and Sonata tied at 4 points. Taichi is 2-2. He's got victories over Hiroki Goto and Sonata, but lost to Evil and Yoshihashi. And Sonata, he is 2-1. He's got victories over Chase Owens and Tama Tonga, but lost to Taichi. I thought he recently wrestled somebody else as well. I thought it was Jeff Cobb recently. I could be wrong, but interesting. We have a tie between Hiroshi Tanahashi and Evil at 6 points. So Tanahashi is 2-1. He's got victories over Tama Tonga, Hiroki Goto, and Kazuchika Okada. Wait, I thought he beat Okada. I could have sworn I thought he beat Okada. But he's at 6 points. Evil's 3-1. Victories over Chase Owens, Taichi, and Yoshihashi, and lost to Okada. And then tied at the top at 8 points is Kazuchika Okada and Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb has been on a roll. Like, it's crazy. It's so crazy how much he's been on a roll. As a matter of fact, Okada's 4-0. If I remember correctly, yeah, he's 4-0. So victories over Evil. Actually, yeah. Yeah, he's 4-0. Victories over Yoshihashi, Evil. I think it was Sonata as well. But I thought he lost against Hiroshi Tanahashi. But he has 8 points, apparently. But Jeff Cobb's been undefeated. 4-0. Hasn't lost yet. He's got victories over Hiroki Goto, Chase Owens, Tama Tonga, Yoshihashi. So, wow, both Zack Sabre Jr. and Jeff Cobb are really on a roll right now. Like, it's crazy because hold on, let me look at last year's. I'm kind of curious. Because Jeff Cobb, if I remember correctly, in last year's G1 Climax, he didn't win that many matches. If I remember correctly, hold up. Jeff Cobb. Yeah, Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb finished with 8 points. So I mean, he has 8 points right now. So I guess I shouldn't get ahead of myself. Yeah, I shouldn't get ahead of myself. But he's undefeated right now. He's undefeated right now. It's crazy. But I mean, we'll have to see what happens because it's still a lot of matches left in the G1 Climax. But Jeff Cobb and Zack Sabre Jr. haven't lost yet. It's crazy. But they have not lost yet. But I don't know. Still a lot of tournament left. But let's see. That's it for that. I also wanted to mention that we got some new members to the United Empire faction in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, we know currently, before the members were Will Ospreay, you had Aaron Hanare, you have Jeff Cobb, you have the Great O'Karn, but they have increased their numbers. Apparently, the tag team from the Aussie Open that recently happened, Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher apparently have joined United Empire. And then just recently at Autumn Attack, TJP, which was a shocker, TJP joins United Empire. Wow. Like, I would have never imagined TJP as part of United Empire, but the more I think about it, it kind of makes sense. I mean, after all, they're kind of making this a worldwide faction. You know what I mean? I mean, you got the tag team from the Aussie Open. You got TJP here in America. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense for United Empire to be a worldwide faction. But wow, they just really increased their ranks there. So good move. Definitely good move. I love TJP. TJP is definitely one of my favorites. One of those technical cruiserweights. That technical high flying hybrid. But I'm not familiar with Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher. Not too familiar with them. But yeah, TJP, United Empire. I like it. I can dig it. I can definitely dig it. But yeah, I think that's pretty interesting. But G1 Climax, let's see, goes all the way to the 21st of October. So we still got a lot to go. So up to the 21st of October. And also remember, the winner of the G1 Climax gets a title shot for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship at Wrestle Kingdom in January. So, a lot to look forward to. Anyway, let us proceed to AEW. AEW Dynamite. Dynamite was very, very good this week. I definitely enjoyed AEW Dynamite. They kicked it off with Jungle Boy versus Adam Cole. This was a banger. This was a banger of a match. And I gotta be honest, even Jungle Boy, it looked really, really strong for Jungle Boy to pull one over on Adam Cole, but of course, we all know that wasn't going to happen. But still, it was crazy. It was definitely crazy. But Adam Cole was able to get the victory. Of course, there was a distraction, there was interference, and that was how Adam Cole was able to get the last shot and get the victory. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed this match. And, I really would love to see a rematch between these two because that was quite a way to kick off Dynamite. I mean, it was awesome. Definitely awesome between these two. And then, of course, we had the Elite come in. We had the rest of Jurassic Express. And if anything, Bryan Danielson wanted another match with Kenny Omega on Rampage because, of course, their first meeting came down to a time limit draw. But, of course, Kenny Omega, was kind of backing down, and they had the whole Kenny no balls Omega chant that the crowd was doing. And apparently that's been the new chant now for Kenny Omega. No balls Omega. Just it was crazy. But yeah, Kenny Omega was like, look, it was a draw. 0-0-1 between the two. There's not going to be a rematch. So therefore he's now no balls Omega. So, but yeah. We had Dante Martin and Matt Sydal team up to take on the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and Lee Johnson, which, I mean, even though I really like what's been going on chemistry-wise between Matt Sydal and Dante Martin, they've been tearing it up, especially on AEW Dark lately. But, of course, you knew that Cody Rhodes and Lee Johnson were going to win. I mean, yeah. And it was actually cool to see the Vertebreaker. Haven't seen the Vertebreaker in forever, but we got to see the Vertebreaker in this match. I want to say the last wrestler I saw do the Vertebreaker, I think it was probably Homicide. I think it was Homicide. Of course, I believe he calls it the Gringo Killer. But yeah, I think Homicide was the last wrestler I saw use the Vertebreaker. It's been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute. But yeah, I just it was a very, I'm not going to say it was a one-sided match, but I knew that Cody and Lee Johnson were going to get the victory. But Cody Rhodes, of course, wants Malachi Black. And, it's not over between these two. It's not over between these two. But right now, Malachi Black is 2-0 on Cody Rhodes. So it's not looking good right now for Cody Rhodes of this rivalry, but I'm pretty sure if they face off for the third time, I'm pretty sure that he's going to be who gives Malachi Black his first loss. I just feel like that's what it's going to come down to. But we shall see. We had an interesting trios match, a 6-man tag match. We had Darby Allin, John Moxley, and Eddie Kingston going up against Bear Country and Anthony Green, which I think last time I saw Anthony Green was, I think he was still wrestling on 205 Live, and then he got fired, if I remember correctly. But it's definitely good to see Bear Country back in action. They just recently started back on AEW Dark because I think it was Bear Boulder that was out injured for a while, but now they're back. But it's good to see them back. It's definitely good to see them back. But of course, they weren't going to win that match, not against Mox and Kingston and Darby Allin. It was just they weren't going to get that. But yeah. So Mox, Darby, and Kingston got the victory. We also had Orange Cassidy and the Dark Order going up against, let's see, it was Private Party, Butcher the Blade, Angelico, Jack Evans, and Dora Joel. Like, it was a huge, huge match. And it was chaotic. It was very much chaotic. But, of course, this was all for Mr. Brody Lee. May he rest in heaven. Now, during this match, it seemed like there was a moment where things were starting to get crazy with the Dark Order, and there was some arguing, and there was some dissension. But then, out of nowhere, comes Ty Contiana J, as well as Mrs. Brody Lee, Amanda Huber, coming out for a little quick pep talk for the Dark Order. Get your head in the game, get it together. In my husband's name, do it for Brody Lee, get it together, get on the same page, get back in there and win the match. That's pretty much. It was pretty much Adrian and Rocky from Rocky 3 all over again. Okay, maybe not as epic as in the Rocky 3 movie, but still, you get what I mean. Anyway, they got back in there and they were able to get the victory. They got the pep talk, which turned into a victory. And then, of course, they had a big celebration in the ring. Everything was cool. They all embraced and hugged. And it seems like now things are cool with the Dark Order. Things have been patched up. They did it for Brody Lee. So it looks like going forward, the Dark Order, they're cool again. How long will it stay that way? Who knows? And it was also shown that Leo Rush, the Moth, the man of the hour, is now all elite. At first, I was kind of like, I thought he was retiring. I thought he was fulfilling his final commitments and then retiring. I was shocked. But hey, I guess he had a change of heart. I guess he had a change of heart. And that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. So I mean, it's cool. It's definitely cool. I love Leo Rush. Dude's excellent. Dude is excellent. But it makes me wonder, with him being all elite, I mean, think of the matchups we could see. Him versus Sammy Guevara. Him versus Dante Martin. Him versus any of the Lucha Bros. Like, can you imagine the matchups? Him versus Jack Evans? Shoot. You got some possibilities there. The possibilities are endless. With Leo Rush and AEW? Shoot. Sign me up. Of course, you had Dan Lambert with Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky blabbing their mouths off. Not surprised. Not a fan of Dan Lambert, but I get, they're the heels, so, they got to talk up a storm. We also got word that Hikaru Shida will be challenging Serena Deeb next week at AEW Dynamite's 2nd anniversary. And this is an opportunity for Shida to get her 50th win in AEW. So it's a big deal for her. And it's really been a while since we've seen Shida wrestle on Dynamite. Lately she's been wrestling on AEW Dark and Dark Elevation. But it'll be good to see Shida back on Dynamite because it's been a while. We had the Bunny and Penelope Ford versus Ty J. And of course, Ty J was able to get some revenge in this match. Lately Penelope Ford and the Bunny have kind of gotten the best of them lately, but this was Ty J's night, had matching ring gear and all, and they definitely put the hurt on Penelope Ford and the Bunny. As a matter of fact, Anna Jay locked in the Queen Slayer on Penelope Ford to the point where the ref had to stop the match. But yeah, Ty J looking strong in tag team form, and we're able to get the best of Penelope Ford and the Bunny. So good stuff. Good stuff. And of course, you have MJF come down to the ring with Wardlow. They did a promo, and the interesting thing was he was naming off people that he's beat: Sammy Guevara, Jungle Boy, and it also mentioned Darby Allin. And of course, Darby Allin ended up coming out, and they just went back and forth. And the funny thing is, they got face to face. MJF challenged Darby Allin to hit him, but Darby Allin backed down and said, "No, you cannot break me mentally. I'm not going to hit you because you cannot break me mentally." And MJF, as he left after that segment, he was you could definitely see his lips move saying, "Oh, I can't break you mentally. I can't break you mentally. Really? Okay. Okay." So you got to imagine MJF is going to come back with some sort of plan, some sort of scheme to try to break Darby Allin mentally. We'll have to see what happens, but Darby Allin, MJF, I think this ought to be an interesting storyline for sure. I can definitely dig it. And then you had the main event, and they have had quite a buildup for this main event. The TNT Championship on the line as Miro, the champion, defended against Sammy Guevara. Now, it seemed like for most of the match, Miro was in control, just manhandling and just dominating Sammy Guevara. But Sammy Guevara definitely got in a good amount of offense. And even with a little bit of help, a little bit of distraction from Fuego del Sol, his best friend, Sammy Guevara was able to take advantage, not only hitting a tornado DDT on Miro, not only hitting the GTH on Miro, but then hitting a 630 on Miro to get the 1-2-3. And bam, Sammy Guevara is your new TNT champion. Like, okay. I know there was a lot of mixed feelings. I was talking about this to some of my friends. I know there was a lot of mixed feelings about the fact that Miro lost the title. Because, some say that he should have kept it longer. Me personally, I say I'm kind of neutral on it. I can't say that I disagree with the decision, because even though it might not seem like Miro had it for a long amount of time, he has defended the title a lot. He's defended it a lot. So, I mean, I feel like he had a good run. And he did defend the title a lot. So, I'm okay with Sammy Guevara winning this, but I can understand the frustrations some people may have with them taking the title off Miro this way and putting it on Sammy Guevara. I can understand that, but honestly, Miro had a good run. He had a good run. So I can't really complain. I mean, if anything, I want to say he had a longer run than Darby Allin, So it's like, I can't complain. I can't complain. I think Miro had a good run. This is Sammy Guevara's time. It's his first title in AEW. So I'm digging it. I'm definitely digging it. Now, not too long after Sammy Guevara wins the TNT Championship, we now know who his first challenger will be, in the form of the infamous Bobby Fish. That's right. Who's currently been competing in MLW. The Forbidden Door has been opened again, and Bobby Fish is challenging Sammy Guevara on AEW next Wednesday for the TNT Championship. Like, that is amazing news. Just out of nowhere, we're getting Bobby Fish in AEW against Sammy Guevara. I'm pumped. I'm pumped for that. I look very forward to that. So, right then and there, next week, the second anniversary show, we're going to get Sammy Guevara defending the title against Bobby Fish. So I'm looking forward to that. Next week's Dynamite should be really, really good. Okay, Rampage. We had a good Rampage just earlier. Kicked off with Nick Jackson versus the American Dragon Bryan Danielson, and this was a pretty dang long match and a very good showcase of Nick Jackson in singles competition. Of course, Brandon Cutler and Matt Jackson were there, but I have to say, just how this match was going between both these superstars, Nick Jackson, had a nice little solo match there. It was really good. I mean, you saw a lot of submissions and joint manipulation by Bryan Danielson. You saw some high flying and strikes. And also that as well from Nick Jackson. I mean, this was a back and forth match, and I was loving it. I was definitely loving it. But ultimately, Bryan Danielson was able to tap out Nick Jackson with the cattle mutilation, which I love it when Bryan Danielson uses that as a submission finisher. But yeah, made him tap out to the cattle mutilation. But it was a great match. It was definitely a great match. The rest of the Elite came down to check on Nick Jackson. And of course, Jurassic Express came down as well. And it was so interesting. They started to brawl a little bit, and of course Kenny Omega got out of the ring and was getting ready to run away, and then we had a segment where both Bryan Danielson and Jungle Boy had their submissions on Adam Cole and Kenny Omega looking at each other. Bryan Danielson had the label lock on Kenny Omega. Jungle Boy had the snare trap on Adam Cole. And they were both looking at each other face to face, tapping out as well. I mean, just wow. The Elite looked like embarrassing trash tonight after that match. Just dang. Both Adam Cole and Kenny Omega caught in submissions. Oh man, that was crazy. But hey, a win for the good guys tonight. We also had a triple threat anything goes match. Jade Cargill, Nyla Rose, and Thunder Rosa. Honestly, I mean, one, I don't like Jade Cargill. Y'all know I don't like Jade Cargill. She is Raka Khan 2.0, if you ask me. But, I mean, for the most part, Nyla Rose was beating up on Thunder Rosa than Jade Cargill. But it was good to see Jade Cargill and Nyla Rose go at it for a bit. Thunder Rosa was doing her thing, though. She was definitely doing her thing. Even powerbombed Nyla Rose through a table. But the finish was so whack. Just Jade Cargill with some chair shots to Thunder Rosa and a cover. 1, 2, 3, that's it. Just, that was a weak finish. That was a really weak finish for Jade Cargill. I mean, I know it was no DQ, anything goes, but come on. Just a couple of chair shots and then a cover. That's it. That was just really lame. Just really, really lame. But I really hope Jade Cargill doesn't end up being the one that beats Britt Baker. I really hope that doesn't happen. I can tell you right now, if Jade Cargill goes up against Britt Baker for the title and wins, oh, folks are going to be pissed. But we'll see. I mean, she's undefeated. She hasn't been pinned or submitted. So, I mean, one would believe she's going to get her title shot. Maybe as early as Full Gear. But we'll see. We'll definitely see. And then the main event, you had a hair versus hair match. It was freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy versus Jack Evans. And you know what? This was a great match. It was definitely back and forth. Definitely back and forth. And when it looked like Matt Hardy and the Hardy family office were going to interfere to try to get the advantage, out comes the rest of Best Friends, Chucky T, Wheeler Yuta, Chris Statlander, as well as the Dark Order as well. Comes out to even the odds. Jack Evans was distracted, ate an orange punch, and got pinned 1, 2, 3. And therefore, Jack Evans had to get his head shaved. Now, it looked like for a second, Angelico was going to try to break the human shield and help save his tag team partner, but that didn't work. And while it seemed like Matt Hardy was going to sick the rest of the group, also including the Butcher and the Blade, was going to sick the rest of the group to help Jack Evans. He had a change of heart and was like, you know what? We'll live to fight another day. I'm sorry, Jack Evans, but we got to retreat. So they left him there, of course, to get his head shaved, by Orange Cassidy. Wheeler Yuta chipped in as well. And, but yeah. So Jack Evans, expect his head to be fully shaved next time we see him. But yeah. And that's AEW Rampage. Now, it was also said that Tony Khan is also going to be assuming full creative control. And, the EVPs, Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, I guess won't be involved in that going forward. But it does make me wonder if Tony Khan's going to hire a creative team. You know what I mean? Should probably consider doing that. But I think by now, he realizes that maybe he kind of gets the gist of things, after these 2 years with AEW, that he might have a better control on the creative. But we'll see. Hey, what's up, Jaleel Brown? Good to see you. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. That's it for AEW. Let's go into some WWE. So, Raw. Good old Monday Night Raw. So, started out with Big E versus Bobby Lashley. This was supposed to be for the title, for the WWE Championship. My prediction was right so far. Yeah, we'll definitely get into that. But yeah, you got some ones right. You definitely got some right. So this was supposed to be for the WWE title, and now just randomly, the Hurt Business is back together. Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander come down to the ring during this match. Like, how did this even happen? like just randomly. You got to remember the last time this was a thing, Bobby Lashley destroyed Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. So now all of a sudden they're just randomly back together. It makes no sense. Not to diss the Hurt Business, but them just joining back together like that made no sense. Just no build up. Like no build up or anything. Like, one, they never should have been split in the first place. But now you they just randomly show up and the Hurt Business is back now. Like, how much sense does that even make? So the rest of the New Day came down and pretty much interfered and kind of stopped the Hurt Business from interfering, but ended up turning into a DQ, or I'm sorry, a no contest, to the point where Adam Pearce is like, no, we gonna do this again later, and just to make sure there's no interference, this gonna be a steel cage match for the title. So we're gonna have a redo later this evening, and I'm like, yeah, because we've never seen that before. We had Angel Garza versus Eric of the Viking Raiders. Oh man. So now they got one half of the Viking Raiders looking like a sissy as Angel Garza picks up the victory, hits the wing clipper on Eric. But yeah, I guess this is the new rising tag team in Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. I mean, yeah, I know they're cousins, but it's like, this is another thing. Random. Another random pairing. No build up to this. No storyline to this. Hey, they're cousins. Let's just put them together. Yeah. And then you had the 24/7 championship on the line, Ricochet versus Reggie, which was kind of looking interesting. And then just like that, wasn't even long. And then there's interference. And then bam, that no contest. So you have two no contest matches within an hour. You have two no contest ending matches in under an hour? Really? Really? You're right, Jaleel Brown. They don't care. They don't care one bit. And it's sad. And it looks really dumb. And then after that, Akira Tozawa is begging for a match. I want a match. I want a match. This is not cool. I want a match. And he gets squashed by Keith Bearcat Lee. Just shows up, tosses him around for a bit, hits a Big Bang Catastrophe, done. Doesn't even do the pose or nothing. Just wham, bam, Big Bang Catastrophe, done. And I love Akira Tozawa. I've met Akira Tozawa back in Dragon Gate. The dude is a beast. And now he's made to look like a punk ever since coming to the main roster. It's ridiculous. They don't know how to book international superstars well, especially from Japan. I just got to keep it real with y'all. We had another rematch for the United States Championship as Damian Priest went up against Sheamus in a no disqualification, pretty much anything goes, no count out sort of match. Jaleel Brown says he might get drafted. Who knows? What, Tozawa? Shoot. Hey, Ace, what's going on? Good to see you. Welcome. But the way they do Akira Tozawa is a shame. It is such a shame the way they do Akira Tozawa. But Sheamus and Damian Priest, I mean, it's a match we've seen multiple times before. But Damian Priest still looking strong. Sheamus, I guess, re-broke his nose again. for like the 8th time. But Damian Priest still your United States champion. But it just makes me wonder, like, when is Damian Priest going to get some more competition? You know, they need to start getting him some more competition. You know, it's been Jeff Hardy, it's been Sheamus, and it's been Sheamus and Sheamus and Sheamus. Can we get him some more competition? Please. Please. You had Jinder Mahal, Veer, and Shanky going up against the weird pairing of Mansoor, Mustafa Ali, and Jeff Hardy. This was kind of a weird pairing. Very weird pairing. Oh my God, this was a weird pairing. But Jinder Mahal, Veer, and Shanky got the victory, and just more and more. I don't know what's up with this team of Ali and Mansoor when they just keep losing and losing and losing and losing. Yes, remember Ali was the hacker and he was the leader of Retribution. Yeah, they really had something good going with Retribution, but then they screwed that up. They just screwed that up. Because for a while they couldn't even get victories in matches. They couldn't get wins. It's ridiculous. They are doing Keith Lee really dirty right now. I mean, they got him as a heel. He's been doing main event matches, and they just had him on Raw, squash Tozawa. Not sure where that's going to lead to, but he's just been having a host of matches on main event. So, Jackson Riker got fed to Karrion Kross. Now, we all remember we had the rivalry between Elias and Jackson Riker, which Jackson Riker clearly won like each time. And then all of a sudden you just feed him to Karrion Kross? Like, really? Not only that, even had him lose by submission to the Cross Jacket. Like, you had Jackson Riker, who was dominant in his last rivalry, and then you have him, you feed him to Karrion Kross. Like, really? That's just crazy. It's just really crazy. Jaleel Brown says, my thoughts for the hacker. I thought it was going to be CM Punk. Oh, nah. I definitely didn't think it was going to be CM Punk. Like, that would have been a really, really low percent chance of happening. With how things went down his last time in WWE, I wasn't seeing that happening. AJ Styles versus Riddle had a singles match, which finally AJ Styles got a victory. Is it me, or does it seem like AJ Styles just cannot seem to pick up singles victories lately? It's like it's become rare for AJ Styles to get singles victories, and it's crazy. It boggles my mind. Now, this was a good match, but the fact that AJ Styles has lost so many singles matches lately is just utterly ridiculous. Like, I mean, I hope this is a swing in the right direction to get him going again, but AJ Styles should be in the main event title picture and not some freaking tag team. So dumb. And he's on Raw. I hope he gets moved to SmackDown. Split up AJ Styles and Omos. He needs to get moved to SmackDown because he's gonna look like crap more and more and more on Raw. He needs to get moved from Raw. Charlotte Flair had an open challenge for her Raw Women's title. Doudrop answers the call, and and of course, even though this was a starting to be a pretty decent match between these two, out comes Eva Marie to throw the wrench into the system, do enough to distract Dewdrop, and she eats a natural selection. 1, 2, 3, Charlotte retains. But, I mean, at least she didn't tap out to the figure 8, because that would have been just really messed up. And then the craziest thing happened. Shayna Baszler comes out to the ring. Eva Marie was on the mic, talking trash. Shayna Baszler comes out. Ace says, I heard they put AJ with Omos to kind of be like Omos's mentor. I mean, of course, he became a what was it, a Grand Slam or a Triple Crown? No. Grand Slam champion when they won the Raw tag titles. I figured that was really the only reason I saw them put together, was so that AJ could be a Grand Slam champion. But, I mean, that's a fair point. I don't know. Omos still seems kind of green. But out comes Shayna Baszler, and she wrecks Eva Marie. Eva Marie tried to escape, but she gets wrecked by Shayna Baszler, and she gets her elbow and arm stomped in on the steel steps, exactly like she did to Nia Jax. So who knows? I guess, is this how they write off Eva Marie? Is this going to be a thing where Shayna Baszler kind of picks on the lower level ladies? Because right now the real Shayna Baszler is back, and I hope she's here to stay. Omos needs a push. That's all. I mean, I don't mind him getting a push as a singles wrestler. Like, I could see him getting a push as a singles wrestler, but I don't know. He went from the Raw Underground bouncer to partnering up with AJ Styles. It's such a weird transition. But the real Shayna Baszler's back, and I'm just hoping that she gets elevated to the title picture, because she needs to be. We've been needing to see that Shayna Baszler show up. I mean, wreck people like she did in NXT. Like, people used to fear Shayna Baszler, and that's the Shayna Baszler we need right now. So let's hope that continues going forward. Okay. And then the main event, steel cage match. Take 2. Bobby Lashley versus Big E for the title. And of course, there was some interference. You had the Hurt Business, you had the New Day, just doing all they can. And then here's the real funny thing, which I'll get into more about this later, but you'll see what I mean. But Big E hits an avalanche big ending on Bobby Lashley, gets the 1, 2, 3. And then afterwards, so Big E retains the title. Afterwards, Drew McIntyre comes out, points his sword to Big E, and it looks like Drew McIntyre wants Big E's title, wants a title shot. Or so we think. And I'll let you know what I mean shortly. You talking about Raw Underground, it was dumb for me? Yes, Raw Underground was dumb, stupidly dumb. It should have never happened. Ace says, remember Evan Bourne? He was so talented, and they did nothing with him but put him with Kofi Kingston. Oh, yeah, they were tag team champions known under the team name Air Boom. Yeah, which, they were a good tag team. But, yeah, Evan Bourne was another one, like, he came back from injury and then did a little something, and then he really didn't get anything more than, tag team champion. Yeah, see, Jalil, you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But NXT. So we're gonna transition to NXT. NXT. NXT was okay. NXT was okay. So we did get to see 3 title matches. We got to see 3 title matches on this week's NXT. So starting off, we had a no DQ match between Hit Rose B-Fab and Legado del Fantasma's Elektra Lopez. I gotta be honest with y'all. B-Fab to me is still green. I think she needs some more matches, more experience, but I don't think B-Fab is there yet. I felt like this was a very one-sided match. Don't be fooled about the offense that B-Fab got in. Honestly, Elektra Lopez wrecked B-Fab. I just don't think B-Fab is quite there yet. I'm not saying that there's not potential, but B-Fab she's still very green in the ring. I don't know how much experience she has, but right now I don't see it. I just don't see it. And we'll see if they give her some more matches, but B-Fab right now just is not doing it for me in the ring. On the mic, she's fine. With Hit Row, she's great. But in the ring right now, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. Especially going up against Elektra Lopez. Elektra Lopez it was so one-sided. It was so one-sided. Jaleel, did I go to what? Did I go to what? We had a one-on-one match. Oh, did I go to the draft? Oh, I watched it, but no, I didn't go to it. But I got the results. I did watch SmackDown tonight, so I will bust that info out and during this stream. Ace says, yeah, she moves really stiff in the ring. Yeah, see, you see what I'm talking about. You see what I'm talking about. So, I mean, I have hope for B-Fab. I hope she can grow, but like she's not there yet. But let's give her some more matches and just really get her more work and see what she can do. We had Zion Quinn versus Oni Lorcan, and Zion Quinn, I really like this guy. I like what they're building him up to be. This Zion Quinn. It looks like he could be a beast in NXT. I mean, he wrecked Oni Lorcan, but this Zion Quinn, he's looking like he can be the next beast in NXT 2.0. So keep an eye on him. Definitely keep an eye on him. Which I think he is. I think he's Samoan. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. This is Zion Quinn. I think he's Samoan. But see, did you hear about Bobby Fish? Yes, he will be getting the first shot at the TNT Championship that Sammy Guevara holds on next week's Dynamite. Yes, I'm looking forward to that. Bobby Fish in the AEW ring is going to be awesome. I still need to get his infamous shirt since he opened up his shop back on ProWrestlingTees.com. I got to get me his shirt. Thank you for reminding me of that. I got to get his shirt. We had a segment with MSK, the current NXT Tag Team Champions, and what the heck is up with the crowd? Lately, I've been seeing the crowd boo MSK. Like, really? I'm kind of surprised to see MSK getting booed lately. Like, it's so weird. It's so weird. Yeah, it was so weird. Ace says, what was the most shocking and disappointing release that WWE has made? Oh, disappointing. Yeah. Are you talking about Bobby Fish? Or are you asking like what were my thoughts? But yeah, if you're talking about Bobby Fish, yeah, I did not expect that. I did not expect that at all, especially after he came back. I didn't expect that at all. But so MSK was talking about, their tag title reign, and then all of a sudden, all these tag teams come out. You had the Grizzled Young Veterans come out. You had Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams come out. You had Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen come out. All these tag teams lining up for title shots. Then a brawl broke out, but MSK went to their high-flying roots, both landing on their feet and being the last one standing. MSK, all night, all day. But I'm surprised that they've been getting booed. Very, very surprised that they've been getting booed. You had Boa taking on Andre Chase, aka Harlem Bravado, who's from North Carolina. Of course, Mei Ying interfered, spit some smoke in his face, and Boa got the victory, which this Andre Chase, he's having sort of the Christopher Nowinski type of gimmick, which I don't know if I really dig it from him. Because, every time I look at him, I just think Harlem Bravado. But I don't know. What do y'all think? Do y'all like the Andre Chase sort of Christopher Nowinski? I don't know. What do y'all think about that? It no more, no way. MSK, no more, no way. Ouch. Oh, man. But it'll be interesting to see who ends up dethroning him. Something tells me it's probably going to be the Grizzled Young Veterans, but we'll see. But yeah, Boa got the victory over Andre Chase. We also got to see a segment with, we got to see some of Index's honeymoon. So they went to the beach, they got in the water, they were doing their thing. But of course, Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano had to spy and snoop around and such, snuck into their hotel room, which doesn't surprise me. But it's a nice storyline. It's an entertaining storyline with Index and the Garganos. So it's very entertaining. I can dig it. Let's see. We had a very, very incredible NXT Cruiserweight Championship match. Grayson Waller challenging Roddy versus the World, Roderick Strong. And I have to say, I got to be honest with y'all. I kind of looked down on Grayson Waller, but no more after that match. He had a good match with Roderick Strong. I was shocked and very impressed with Grayson Waller. I was very impressed. That was one heck of a Cruiserweight Championship. For Roddy's first defense, that was a sick Cruiserweight Championship match. Like, that turned out to be a lot better than I thought. Grayson Waller ate a jumping knee and got pinned 1, 2, 3. But man, that was a great match. Grayson Waller showing some high flying. These two were just back and forth. Like, that was an incredible Cruiserweight Championship match. Of course, we had Kyle O'Reilly, the Violent Artist, go up against Ridge Holland, to continue their rivalry. After Ridge Holland kind of helped take him out of the NXT Championship Fatal 4-Way. So they got a chance to settle it right here. It was hard hitting. It was back and forth. Of course, as Kyle O'Reilly likes to say, Peter Dune was there. But Kyle O'Reilly was able to get the roll-up victory. So, roll-up victory. And then, of course, Pete Dunne with the post-match attack. But then out comes Von Wagner to even the odds and help break things up and side with Kyle O'Reilly. So thought that was pretty neat because, he was in that championship Fatal 4-Way. Jaleel Brown says Adam Cole. Adam Cole, baby. Ace says they should have never broke up the Undisputed Era. I had high hopes of seeing them on the main roster together. I have, well, here's the thing. Yes, Undisputed Era, one of the greatest factions in NXT history, bar none. My big fear of them going to the main roster is I am not so sure that Vince McMahon would have been high on Undisputed Era being successful on the main roster. Because I can tell you right now, I do not trust Vince ever putting over Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, Red Dragon, one of my favorite tag teams. I don't trust him with Roderick Strong, nor do I trust him with Adam Cole. So it's kind of a catch-22. I mean, they would have come onto the main roster with a lot of star power and a huge pop, but I wouldn't have imagined them being successful. That was also my main fear. Undisputed Era versus Nexus. Who you got? Oh, Undisputed Era. That's easy. Oh, y'all both pick Nexus? Really? Over Undisputed Era? I gotta go Undisputed Era. That's they would run Nexus into the ground. I mean, you're talking about Wade Barrett and Skip Sheffield and all those folks, Justin Gabriel going up against Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, and Roddy versus the World. Real? Nah. I can't agree. I can't agree. Nexus just had that cool dog mentality that I always like. No, that's a good point though. That is a good point. They did exemplify that, but them over Undisputed Era, I can't see it. I can't see it. There's just too much greatness and star power in the Undisputed Era that I just cannot see the Nexus winning that fight. I just can't see it. The only thing the Nexus would have is they would have the numbers advantage, but I still don't think it'd be enough. I don't think it'd be enough. But the Nexus would have the numbers advantage. I will say that. Okay. The main event, which I thought was cool that they had this in the main event, which wait a minute. No. I'm forgetting one. Or no. Yeah, I'm forgetting one. Hold up. I'm forgetting one. We had the NXT Women's Tag Team titles on the line as the champs, Io Shirai and Zoe Stark, make their second defense against Toxic Attraction, Gigi Dolan and JC Jane. So dang, all of a sudden, just like that, the faction just formed and they get a tag title shot. Just like that. It was crazy. But we're starting to see, well, I mean, Io Shirai and Zoe Stark in the ring have gelled well. Outside of the ring, not so much. But Io and Zoe have gelled really well as a tag team. But Toxic Attraction definitely brought the fight. But Io and Zoe were just too much right now for Toxic Attraction, and were able to get the victory. Io Shirai hit the moonsault, got the 1, 2, 3. And Zoe and Io are still your NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. How about this? Undisputed Era versus Nexus versus Retribution versus the Bloodline versus the New Day. Undisputed Era. Ace picks the Bloodline. I got to go Undisputed Era. Because you got to keep in mind, Red Dragon is in my top 3 favorite tag teams of all time. Red Dragon, the two-man smash machine. They do one of my favorite double team finishers in Chasing the Dragon. Like, I have a very big spot in my heart for Red Dragon. So, Undisputed Era. The main event, we had Raquel Gonzalez defending the NXT Women's Championship against Frankie Monet. Now, it does kind of make me wonder, did Frankie Monet kind of get this title shot a little too early? Because I feel like she hasn't had that many matches since debuting. So part of me feels like she got this title shot just a little too early, but the match was good. The match was good, back and forth, a lot of junk talk between both ladies. I was enjoying this match. This was really good. But what ended up happening was, okay, so Frankie Monet ate the Chikonga bomb. Jaleel Brown. You're picking Undisputed Era? I agree. I highly agree. Raquel Gonzalez did nail Frankie Monet with the Chikonga bomb, gets the 1-2-3, and was able to retain the NXT Women's Championship. And now, after the match, we get a post-match assault from Toxic Attraction. All three members, Mandy Rose, Jacy Jayne, Gigi Dolan, just all gang up and take down Raquel Gonzalez. Now, Raquel Gonzalez did fight back. She kind of, stood her ground and fought back, but the numbers game got the best of her. And she ate a V-trigger-like knee from Mandy Rose. She and the rest of Toxic Attraction stand over her, hoisting up the NXT Women's Championship. So, dang, does Mandy Rose get the next shot already? Already? She just got back to NXT, and she just got here to NXT. She's going to get a shot already? Like, what the heck? The Usos and the New Day always put up great matches, especially the match in Hell in a Cell. Oh, yes. Highly agree. Highly agree. That rivalry, honestly, will never get old. I mean, it kind of makes me think of Edge and Christian versus the Hardys, almost. Rivalry never gets old. But yeah, this was a pretty good NXT 2.0. Definitely pretty good. Okay, NXT UK. So, we had a nice little tag team match. Mustache Mountain versus Oliver Carter and Ashton Smith. And you know what? I gotta give credit where credit's due. Oliver Carter and Ashton Smith, they really brought it. They really brought it in this tag team match, because you got to remember Mustache Mountain, Tyler Bate, the current Heritage Cup champ, Trent Seven, like killer tag team there. And they put up a great fight. They put up a very great fight. But they were able to put away Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter with the assisted Snapdragon suplex with the springboard clothesline, and was able to put them away 1, 2, 3. I would have loved to still see the diving knee drop burning hammer combo. I like that a lot more, but this was good. This was still really good, and they were able to get the victory over Oliver Carter and Ashton Smith. So Mustache Mountain, I'm still hopeful at some point they will become NXT UK Tag Team Champions, titles that they still have yet to win. Remember, they have won the NXT Tag Team Championships before, but not the UK Tag Team titles. Keep that in mind. We had a singles match between Subculture's Danny Luna going up against Zaya Brookside, and this was also good. Back and forth, battle of speed versus power. But Danny Luna was able to get the victory over Zaya Brookside, and she extended the hand for sportsmanship. Xia Li slapped it away. and just left the ring in frustration. Ooh. Do I sense a build up to maybe a Zaya Brookside heel turn? Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I hope not. I like Zaya Brookside. I think she's better as a face, but I don't know if I could take her seriously if she turned heel, to be honest with you. You know? we had the in-ring debut of Charlie Dempsey going up against Josh Morrell. This Charlie Dempsey kind of had that Von Erich sort of look to him, sort of feel to him. And it was a pretty interesting match. And he ended up winning by submission using some really, really, like, I don't know what you call that submission, but like he pretty much twisted up Josh Morrell and just got him to tap out. It was a crazy submission. It was a very crazy submission. But yeah, Charlie Dempsey gets his victory in his debut match. Ace says they should turn Naomi heel and let her join the bloodline. Retribution Brown, what's up? She's going to join the bloodline soon as possible. Yes, yes, yes. That needs to happen. That needs to happen. She's on SmackDown. But here's the thing, and which I'll get into later. Definitely Naomi's best chance at getting back in the title picture, join the bloodline. Join her husband, Jimmy, the rest of the bloodline. I agree. I 1,000,000% agree. Oh, you just changed your name. Oh, okay. Gotcha. No problem. But yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. I have always felt that Naomi was a better heel than a face. Remember her heel run with Team Bad? Oh, of course. Her, Sasha Banks, Tamina. How could I forget? But yeah, Team Bad. I remember Team Bad. They were bad. Team Bad. But yeah, I think she could play a heel or a face. I think she can do both. I think she's pretty good at doing both. Yeah, I think she's good at doing both. We also had Joe Coffey versus Jordan Devlin. Oh, you made that picture today. Oh, okay. Very cool. Also wanted to mention that Stevie Turner went to Sid Scala and is begging for him to reinstate Blair Davenport so she can get some revenge. Going to take it under consideration, but I'm pretty sure within a week, Blair Davenport will be reinstated. Anyway, Joe Coffey versus Jordan Devlin. This was a good match. This was definitely a good match. But Gallus was the deciding factor pretty much in this match. They took advantage, distracted the Irish Ace, and Joe Coffey was able to hit the all the best for the bells clothesline, that spinning clothesline, and got the victory over Jordan Devlin, which I feel kind of bad for the Irish Ace. I like the Irish Ace. I do. I really do. There was also a segment where Jenny was talking trash to Millie McKenzie as she was working out with Mako Satomura, which I wonder when are we going to see Mako Satomura defend the title again? We haven't seen Mako Satomura wrestle in a while, so hope to see her soon. But looks like we're going to get a match soon between Millie McKenzie and Jenny. Ace says, I hate people hating on AEW just because they are signing former WWE guys. Well, I mean, if WWE handled business well, like they should have, and knew how to treat their talent, then maybe they wouldn't be going to AEW and having more success. I'm just saying. WWE had the opportunity first, but, if they're not doing their part while they're in WWE, then they really can't say jack when they go to AEW and they succeed. So, and then again, it's funny to try to see WWE marks defend a lot of the stuff that goes on in WWE anyway. It's pretty funny. Okay, let's go to SmackDown. You know what? Let's jump right into it. Let's talk about the draft picks first, and then we'll go into the matches that took place on SmackDown. So let's talk about the draft. Okay, round 1. SmackDown drafted Roman Reigns. Not a surprise. So Universal Champion Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, stays on SmackDown. Raw drafts Big E, the WWE Champion. Not surprised. Pretty obvious. And then SmackDown drafts Raw Women's Champion Charlotte Flair. Interesting. Very interesting. And of course, she was there at SmackDown with the Raw Women's Championship. And it's just like, it only just makes me wonder. It makes me wonder a lot of things. Like, is she just going to have the Raw Women's title on SmackDown going forward? Is she going to drop the title? Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. And then Raw drafts Bianca Belair. So even though she competed tonight, Bianca Belair is going to Raw. So into SmackDown with Charlotte Flair, out to Raw, Bianca Belair. Yeah, kind of crazy. I mean, yeah, just really, really crazy. Especially the Charlotte Flair to SmackDown while she's the Raw Women's Champion is really weird. Really, really weird. Okay, so that was round 1. Round 2, SmackDown gets Drew McIntyre. So really, really weird. The last segment of this past Monday's Raw was Drew McIntyre coming out to pretty much signify a challenge to, to Big E, that he's coming after his title. And then he's drafted to SmackDown. Like, what the heck? Yeah, that's crazy. He says Ricochet needs to go to AEW next. Would love to see Darby Allin versus Ricochet. Now, Ace, can I be honest with you? Me personally, I would rather see Ricochet in the X division in Impact Wrestling. That way, I think he has a better chance of being a champion. While I would not hate on him going to AEW, I think he would better fit in the X division in Impact Wrestling, because I think that gives him the best opportunity to be a champion. Because you have to think, if Ricochet is in Impact Wrestling, you best believe he is going to be an Impact X division champion. Think about it. So SmackDown gets Drew McIntyre. Yeah, for sure. I forgot. Yeah. But like I said, Ricochet and AEW would be cool too. I mean, could you imagine Ricochet versus Darby Allin, Ricochet versus Dante Martin, Ricochet versus Jack Evans, Jungle Boy, like, or any of the Lucha Bros, which, I mean, he's faced the Lucha Bros before back in Lucha Underground when he was Prince Puma. So, I mean, you have the possibilities are endless for Ricochet, whether he's in Impact Wrestling or AEW. So, good stuff. Let's see. So, Raw is keeping the Raw Tag Team Champions RK Bro. So, Randy Orton, Matt Riddle staying on Raw. The New Day Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods going to SmackDown. So once again, New Day split up once again. Can't say I'm surprised about that. And then Raw is getting Edge. Raw is getting Edge. I don't know how I feel about that. My only guess is I just wonder if Seth Rollins is going to be drafted to Raw, because if he gets drafted to Raw and not Seth Rollins, that's kind of a weird way to end that feud. But yeah, I did not expect Edge to go to Raw, but I called it. Yeah, you actually did call that. You did call that, Retribution Brown. You did call that. Round three. Round three was probably the most shocking round of this draft. He says Vince needs to get rid of that late 80s wrestling philosophy because it's holding guys back. Edge on Raw feels weird to me. Yeah, it feels weird to me as well. Like, I guess we'll have to see what happens, because I would not have expected Edge to go to Raw, but yeah. So round three. So SmackDown is keeping Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss, which I mean is just Riddick Moss. Raw is keeping the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions of Rhea Ripley and Nikki ASH. SmackDown is getting all 4 members of Hit Row. Okay, that was terrible. My voice is a little groggy. But yeah, SmackDown is getting Hit Row. Hit Row. Shanti the Adonis, B-Fab, Top Dollar, Isaiah Swerve Scott. No, Blitz. Yeah, I know it was terrible. It was terrible. My voice wasn't ready for it. So the problem that I have with this is Swerve has the NXT North American title that he hasn't even defended one time, which I still don't understand. The dude is not injured. He's been taking bumps and brawling with Legado del Fantasma, so that he's not injured. So, but he hasn't defended that NXT North American Championship not even once since winning it. I don't get it. So what are they going to have him do? Just relinquish the title? Just drop the title? Is he going to finally have the match versus Santos Escobar and then lose? Like, this is why I complained for the longest time that Isaiah Swerve Scott should have been NXT Cruiserweight Champion long before any of this happened. He should have been Cruiserweight Champion way before Kushida. He should have been the one to take it off of Santos Escobar. I was so mad about that. Swerve should have been Cruiserweight Champion. And now he won the NXT North American title, hasn't defended it once. And now him and Hit Row called up, drafted to SmackDown. Somebody make it make sense, because it doesn't make sense to me. Don't get me wrong. I like Hit Row. I love Swerve. I've seen Swerve compete live back at Evolve. Him versus AR Fox. That was a banger of a match. But they need to address the NXT North American title situation. They need to address that ASAP, because that's just weird. And then to Raw, Keith Bearcat Lee. So he pretty much stays on Raw. And that's the end of round 3. And then round 4, so SmackDown gets Naomi. Raw gets the Mysterios, both Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio, which kind of killed my hope for a dream match between Rey Mysterio and Swerve. I would have loved to have seen that. I was confused about that. Yeah, I was just as much confused as you are, bro. I'm just as much confused as you. I don't even get it. So Raw gets the Mysterios, SmackDown gets Jeff Hardy, and then Raw gets Austin Theory. So Austin Theory going back to the main roster. Of course, you know, Austin Theory used to be in a storyline with Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy. So, I mean, and not only that, he was also paired up in a storyline with Andrade. What was it? Andrade, Angel Garza, and Zelina Vega. So I hope they, with Austin Theory, I mean, it sucks. It kind of sucks for him that he's going to Raw, but hopefully they do something right with him. Because Austin Theory, he's great. Austin Theory's good. Former Evolve champion. The dude is good. Dude is really good in the ring. Like I said, it no way anymore. Did you see Mick Foley's video on today's WWE? No. No, I didn't actually. Ace, anything interesting? Anything interesting? But yeah, that's the draft. That was done on SmackDown. So night 2 of the draft will be on this coming Monday's Monday Night Raw. So we still got more to look forward to in the draft. So have to see what happens. But okay, SmackDown. So let's see. Started off with Roman Reigns coming down, Paul Heyman. You know, Roman Reigns does the usual acknowledge me to the crowd. And then Paul Heyman gets on the mic as well, berates Finn Balor, you know, the demon Finn Balor, and talks up how Roman Reigns will defeat Brock Lesnar at Crown Jewel. Ace, what'd you say? He was mainly saying that WWE is not a place where young wrestlers aspire to be anymore. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, I can imagine for the longest time, there was a lot of people's dreams to wrestle for the WWE and hopefully someday main event WrestleMania. I figured that's the big dream for a lot of wrestlers that want to wrestle for the WWE, but just seeing how they've done a lot of talent just kills hopes for that dream. It just kills hopes for that dream. And it's sad too, because I like to support wrestlers that I'm fans are, regardless of what promotion they go to. I'm not one of those marks where, oh, I'm pure AEW, I'm pure Stardom or whatnot. I love pro wrestling just in general. And, you know, wrestlers, you know, especially wrestlers from North Carolina, I'm in big support of. But any wrestlers that I like, you know, I try to support wherever they go. I might not always agree some promotions that they go to, but I try to support the wrestlers. I was dying laughing about Paul Heyman. Yeah. Paul Heyman, still one of my favorite managers to this day, next to Mr. Fuji. It was my dream at one point when I was like 5 For you too? For you too, Ace? For you too? Oh yeah, Paul Heyman looking. I think Paul Heyman was pretty much in tears, or looked like he was trying his hardest to cry in front of Roman Reigns. But yeah, I'm about to get to that. But we opened up with Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. They were on the mic. Brock Lesnar comes out, gets into the ring, pretty much goes face to face with Roman Reigns. And I got to give Roman credit. He swung on Brock Lesnar, initiated the brawl, and then, of course, he took him down, took him to Suplex City. The Usos tried to come in and fight off Brock Lesnar, but no. They both got taken to Suplex City, as well as suffered F5s. And of course, all Roman Reigns could do is watch and despair what happened to his cousins. Poor Usos. He deserves it, though. Yeah, you're right. He does kind of deserve it. Ace says, and it's sad to see a company that has done so much for me in my childhood just slowly crumble. Oh, yeah. No doubt. I mean, the product has just been getting worse and worse. I mean, Raw has been trash for years. SmackDown's been hit or miss. And I feel like NXT is all right, but I feel like it's on life support. I mean, we'll have to see what this NXT 2.0 does for the younger up-and-coming talent. But NXT, I feel like it's kind of been on life support. 205 Live, they had something good going, but then that's been kind of dying. So, yeah, just WWE, the product just hasn't really been good. Let's see. You had Happy Corbin versus Kevin Owens. And, of course, Madcap Moss was there. And, of course, Madcap Moss was the deciding factor in this match. Kevin Owens, for the most part, had the momentum. But he ate not only one, but two end of days. One outside and one back in the ring to defeat Kevin Owens. And then, of course, they were both laughing and joyful and such, which I feel like Madcap Moss was trying way too hard with his fake laughing and such. He was trying way too hard. Way too hard. We need Triple H to come back. I mean, I'm sure. Well, he is out. He recently had surgery, so I think he might still be in recovery. But I mean, with Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon producing NXT, I don't know what's going to happen when Triple H gets back to full health. I have no idea. I mean, I don't know if he'll even have anywhere close to the same pull that he used to have. I mean, I don't really hear much from Stephanie, and Shane McMahon wants nothing to do with the product anymore. So, yeah. Till this day, one of the saddest days of my life was when Eddie and Chris died. Oh yeah, Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit. Yeah, those were pretty rough. They were pretty rough, especially Eddie Guerrero. Definitely one of my favorites and a pioneer of the cruiserweights and lucha libre. Loved watching him in WCW as well. Let's see. We had Edge come out to the ring, speak some words on Seth Rollins, who happened to be at Edge's house. Of course, the Copelands. His real name is Adam Copeland. But yeah, Seth Rollins went into Edge's house, raided his refrigerator for some orange juice and an apple, and was just talking smack and examining the house. sat on one of his recliners, and just made himself at home. And the funny thing is, Edge got out of the ring and just ran out of the ring. I'm like, dude, y'all are in Baltimore, Maryland. You live in Asheville. There's no way you gonna just magically just show up back at home like that. So I just thought it was kind of weird how they had Edge do that. Like, they could have just had him reacting in the ring, but no, he gets out of the ring and just runs backstage. I'm like, you ain't going anywhere. You in Asheville. Y'all, SmackDown is live from Baltimore, Maryland. What the heck? Eddie Guerrero always cheating all the time, but he gets his way. Indeed. Hey, he lies, he cheats, he steals. That's his motto. Ace says, who is your favorite wrestler, Blitz? Mine is a tie between Bret Hart, Edge, and Eddie. Favorite male wrestler of all time, The Great Muta. Favorite female wrestler of all time, Gail Kim. Favorite tag team of all time, the Motor City Machine Guns. Bam. Let's see. So we had Liv Morgan and Carmella again. Of course, they fought against each other at Extreme Rules, the pre-show. And this was so dumb. This ended in a no contest after Carmella, like, she got struck in the face, got on the mic, like, no, this is the last time you're going to hit me in my beautiful face. And puts on this, like, this diamond-studded mask, and then just ends up using it to attack Liv Morgan, and then that's it. Just a no contest. Like, no disqualification or nothing like that. Just no contest. I don't even think the bell even rung. As a matter of fact, the bell never even rung. Oh my God. It just... So you had 3 no contest matches this week. 2 on Raw, 1 on SmackDown. Like, what the heck? Make it make sense. Oh my God. Oh yeah, I forgot Edge lives in North Carolina. Yep. North Carolina, my home state. But yeah, that 3 no contest matches in 1 week. That's so crazy. We had an 8-man tag team match. We had the Street Profits and the New Day team up to take on Alpha Academy and Mr. Ziggles and Robert Roode, the Dirty Dogs. And of course, the Street Profits and the New Day show that their chemistry is still indeed very strong, even though they've had their rivalry. Still great chemistry, teamed up together, and it showed as they were able to get the victory over Alpha Academy and Mr. Ziggles and Robert Roode. Good match, very entertaining match. Definitely enjoyed it. And then you had the main event, which you had Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair, the WrestleMania rematch. And of course, SmackDown champion, women's champion, Becky Lynch came down to join on commentary. Was looking good too, looking really good. I tell you, after she started making her comeback and, showing the workout videos, I mean, Becky Lynch looks incredible. But anyway, once again, Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair showing their excellent chemistry in the ring, and these ladies definitely showed why they are in the main event. They definitely showed why they were in the main event at WrestleMania. These ladies tore the house down. They're on SmackDown in Baltimore. And of course, Becky Lynch gave the assist, leaning up against Bianca's hair, allowing Sasha Banks to take advantage, and was able to roll up the EST of WWE for the 1, 2, 3. And then after the match, it got very chaotic as Charlotte Flair enters the ring. Big boots, Bianca Belair. Big boots, Sasha Banks. Stands tall in the ring, hoisting up the Raw Women's title. And, of course, Becky Lynch on the outside on top of the announce table, hoisting up the SmackDown Women's title. So, yeah, interesting ending there. Both Raw and SmackDown Women's champions at the end segment there. And you got a lot of talent in the ring there with those two and Sasha and Bianca. I wish they would change the State Fair rides a bit, but I'm going to go, though. Oh, man, I haven't gone to the State Fair in a number of years. It's supposed to happen on SummerSlam. Yeah, it would have been excellent. But they did announce that at Crown Jewel, there will be a triple threat match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. It will be Becky Lynch defending the title against both Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks at Crown Jewel. So we got that to look forward to. Not only that, it was announced that next week's SmackDown will be the start of the new Queen's Crown tournament, as well as the King of the Ring tournament. So, wow, we got something new here. We not only have a King of the Ring, but we now have a Queen's Crown tournament. So it does make me wonder how many competitors are going to be in these two tournaments. And hopefully, we'll see it across both Raw and SmackDown. But if you ask me, you know what I think they should do? If they do this, what I really think they should do, they should have a bunch of competitors from both Raw and SmackDown. And even if they could throw in NXT, I doubt it. But they have this tournament and have the finals at Survivor Series. Because, you're already going to have both brands on there. So have the finals of both these tournaments at Survivor Series. I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be really cool. What if Bayley returns on Crown Jewel? Doubt it. Last I checked, she has a torn ACL. That's going to take time. I don't think she will have recovered by then. Yeah, if I remember correctly, she has a torn ACL, so I don't see it. I don't see it happening. If she does, great, but I don't see it happening. I think she still has some recovery time. I don't see her returning until maybe next year. I could see her returning maybe as a Royal Rumble entrant. I could see her, who knows? Maybe she could return as the number 30 entrant into the Royal Rumble. If she can recover in time, she could be number 30 in the Royal Rumble. Because you got to remember, Bayley's never won a Royal Rumble. Could y'all see Bayley winning the Royal Rumble? I think it'd be interesting. We've seen Asuka win it. We've seen Charlotte win it. We've seen Becky Lynch win it. We've seen Bianca Belair win it. What do y'all think? Would you like to see Bayley win the Royal Rumble? Would be kind of neat. Would be neat. But yeah, so that pretty much wraps up WWE. But yeah, I'm actually kind of excited for the tournaments. But if they book them right, if they book them right, if you ask me, I think the finals of those tournaments should be decided at Survivor Series. But now that I think about it, I don't see any other pay-per-view booked other than Crown Jewel for October, which is October 21st. So yeah, I think that's the pay-per-view for this month is Crown Jewel, and then November is Survivor Series. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what else they add to Crown Jewel. And it's a 12 p.m. EST or 12 p.m. ET, 9 a.m. Pacific on Peacock for Crown Jewel. So it's going to be in the morning and middle of the day here on a Thursday. So Thursday, Peacock pay-per-view, Crown Jewel. Yikes. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But a lot of interesting stuff this week in pro wrestling. New members of United Empire, new member of Cosmic Angels, Jungle Kiona leaving Stardom. That still makes me wonder where she's going to end up going. That still really makes me wonder. We still got a lot of G1 Climax matches, so it's getting really interesting. But the road to Crown Jewel has begun. And in a way, kind of the road to Survivor Series. I mean, we got the draft that just kicked off. So we'll have to see what happens on Monday Night Raw with the draft. And, one last thing. I had to talk about this. I got to talk about this. So tomorrow in Concord, North Carolina, the Premier Wrestling Experience is doing a show, All Hail the King, that I'll be going to with my good friend Tino. Shout out to Tino and Rob Potsy Potcheck of the Potsy and Tino show. And we got quite an incredible card on this PWX show, Premier Wrestling Experience. We got the Besties in the World versus the Heat Seekers for the PWX Tag Team Championships. We got Shug D versus Victor Benjamin for the Pure Championship. We got Wheeler Yuta. Wheeler Yuta from AEW is in action against Sir Rios Badu. We got the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Robbie Eagles going up against Lucky Ali. We got John Davis. This is a tag team match. So we got John Davis and a partner of his choosing going up against Chip Day and a partner of his choosing, mystery partners. We got Savannah Evans going up against Killer Kelly. Do y'all remember Killer Kelly? She was in the second Mae Young Classic, also the first WXW Women's Champion. So looking forward to meeting Killer Kelly. We got the Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer, going up against J.D. Drake, also known as James Drake, both on AEW. And then the big one, the big one that I'm looking so forward to, and I'm glad that he's going to be at the meet and greet, Minoru Suzuki, the king. Minoru Suzuki versus Anthony Henry, a.k.a. formerly known as Asher Hale. But Minoru Suzuki is coming to PWX, and he's going to be at the meet and greet. I am so excited to be able to meet him. This is going to be awesome. They're going to have him, Killer Kelly, Robbie Eagles, and Lance Archer as part of the meet and greets. Looking so forward to that. So, I look forward to this show. Plan on having some fun tomorrow in Concord, North Carolina's a couple of hours. But I'm looking so forward to it, and should be fun. Should be really fun. Ace says, can't wait till the Panthers game, but it's important to note that the Cowboys are no slouch. Yeah, I am not sleeping on the Cowboys. Not sleeping on the Cowboys at all. I know a lot of folks, I know over at Keep Pounding TV, like a lot of folks in that chat were just clowning the Cowboys. Don't sleep on the Cowboys. They are 2-1 for a reason. They lead the league in takeaways. They're number one in takeaways. And they still got weapons on offense. Don't sleep on Dak, Zeke, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper. Don't sleep on them. Don't sleep on their defense. There's a reason why they lead the league in takeaways. Amari might not play. I did hear that he wasn't healthy, but that he's questionable. So I did hear about that. But, you know, Dak's been playing good. You know, they almost beat the Bucks. So, like I said, don't sleep on the Cowboys. Don't sleep on the Cowboys. It's going to be a tough game, and it's in Dallas. It's going to be a tough game. You know, we might have had the best of the Cowboys the last couple of meetings, but Cowboys are still a tough team. So don't sleep on them. This is going to be a challenging game, but we'll see how it goes. Should be a great weekend. Looking forward to PWX. Looking forward to the Carolina Panthers hopefully going 4-0, but we will see. Anyway, that concludes this edition of Pro Wrestling Talk. I do think it will be a good game, win or lose. Oh, yeah, I expect it to be close. I don't see it being a blowout. I don't see it being a blowout at all. Both teams are banged up with injuries. I think it'll be pretty even, but it should be close. Should be close. But thank y'all so much for coming out tonight for this episode of Pro Wrestling Talk. Thanks to the chat, Retribution Brown, Ace. Thank y'all for chatting it up with me tonight. And hope y'all enjoyed it. And let me know what y'all think. And just thank you for your continued support. And hope to see y'all again soon. But anyway, this has been another edition of Pro Wrestling Talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. I hope everybody has a blessed and safe weekend as we have now entered into the month of October. The fall is here. Stay warm or cool, whichever you like. But hope everybody has a blessed weekend, and I will see y'all soon. Take care. Good night, everybody.